Just when we spoken with them earlier in the week, they were talking about same day results.
Yes, Abbott. Yeah, Abbott can do that.
No, I meant for Dededo, for Stumbo.
Oh.
So that if we're trying to test all these people and cast out this wide net to determine the prevalence, and based on the results, it's going to help us determine how we're gradually going to reopen the island. And so whenever I hear DLS, I feel like we're going to have to wait a week. Is that right?
No, less than a week. Maybe if it's going to Hawaii, it's 2 to 3 days. If it's going off island to Quest, it's about 4 days. But again, we have the capability to do it right away as we speak, and we are also doing reserves. So that's what I'm going to say.
Okay, so there's a possibility that Saturday night we're going to get the results after the sample size is 100, and we may see out of 40 results we received. Yeah. So we won't see out of 100 tests conducted.
Right, because we have to do 40 each day because the machine can only do, it's a certain type of machine.
Right, but you have 6 or 5 or whatever it is. That's what I'm saying. Like you guys said, you built up the testing capability. We've got X amount of machines.
Sorry, Linda, was that your call to say that? Because we really hate to just keep hounding you on it, but the people were told that we're going to cast a wide net, reopen the island, 258 tests a day, and now you're saying we can only run 40 a day.
No, I'm talking about just one machine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not the Abbott. The Abbott can do the testing in 5 minutes if it's a positive. If it's a negative, it can do it within 13 to 15 minutes. Right. Yeah, correct.
So, so just to clarify, the goal is 100. Say we do get 100 people, and you get 100 samples. Are we going to get 100 results Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, whenever you guys are completed?
Yes, we have the capability because we have the supplies readily available. Yes.
Okay. All right. Anything else you need to get out?
Just wanted to say thank you for your efforts in carrying out the message to the community, and we appreciate all the help that we've been getting from the community as far as their support. A lot of moral support have been coming down, and I thank the community for everything.
Well, we thank you, Linda, and your staff.
Yep.
Thank you, too.
Hey, God bless you, Linda. It's Friday.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good luck tomorrow.
You all right, Linda? You okay?
Yes, of course I'm okay.
Okay.
The more, I just keep praying that God will help us through this and that everybody will be as healthy as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, are you going to be at the 11:30?
I am. I am. My schedule, it just changes so quickly. That's why, you have a difficult time catching me sometimes because,
we know.
On the days that I'm up, things change. Mm-hmm. And I, go wherever I need to go and do what I have to do. So I'm fine. I keep praying that, I journey through this very well.
Okay? Well, I just wanted to ask how you're doing, Linda, in case nobody asked you.
Yeah. And you're doing a great job under these circumstances.
Wash your hands, okay?
Of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Linda.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. 7:48. That was Linda Pinko DeNorsi. You okay? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I always like talking to Linda.
I do. It's just
I just want to make sure.
I hope I wasn't beating the 258 tests a day to death.
Yeah, you were.
I was. Well, it's just that we were told it. I'm sorry. That's what they said.
But,
do your part. We did our part. We stayed home. We did our part. We jumped through the hoops.
Oh boy.
Sorry, Bree, but I'm just saying.
Are you okay?
No, I'm just saying if you're going to go out and tell the people that
what's
we're
that number
going to do
Behavioral
testing.
Wellness Center, because I'm gonna have to keep that up. Ken, can we keep that up on the screen?
Can we get that up? I got to make a phone call. Oh man, 7:50. Let's take a break. You know what I'm saying though.
Yes.
It's just frustrating.
Everybody knows what you're saying. Okay.
We were told they were going to do 258 tests a day, and it's just not happening. But what really gets me is no one is saying anything about it. You get the governor and her people to come out and they say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and then it just never happens. You're going to get the stimulus checks. You're not going to get the stimulus checks. It's going to be weeks. It's frustrating. Because then we got to be like, we told you guys it's going to be free. They said it's going to be free. They said, come out, let's get tested, let's test everybody. Now it's like, oh, you need a pass. Oh, you got to do this. You got to jump through this hoop. Oh, you got to have symptoms, So again, I'm going to take a break, okay? And we got our Stay Home Live Local Fridays coming up tonight.
Okay.
We got more info on that. It's the
You're
KUM News takeover of
You're
Guam's
right.
favorite. Okay,
You're
come
right.
on. All right.
Man,
I just
man,
got to put
you're
aloe vera, Brie. Let me put aloe vera.
Domino's new baked
You can dance with a guy that gives you the eye, let him hold you tight.
Too long. My day started when you were still your
And nothing, oh, nothing is going right.
Yeah, I remember you and me, the closest any two can be.
What we want is right before our eyes.
Keeping you informed, KUAM News brings you Banking 671, brought to you by the Bank of Guam, the People's Bank, and Coast 360 Federal Credit Union. Together, we thrive.
KUAM News COVID-19 Takeover on I-94 FM is presented locally by Ambrose Inc. Be healthy. Be informed.
Self-storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Hafade Guam, Adriana Cotero here, and I am currently reporting from home. And I encourage every single person in this community to stay home. COVID-19 cannot survive if we do not feed it, and that means staying home and washing our hands. Now, I know I've heard people my age in their mid-20s say, it's okay, we're young, we're healthy, we have strong immune systems, we could fight it. That's not true, and we also don't know who we could potentially be exposing. The only way that we can fight it is if we stay home. It is our duty to stop the spread and to stay home. Be safe, Guam.
News Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's, offers fully covered loading and unloading area with individual pin-coded gate and door access. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Specialist Joshua Mansonotia. I can't wait for him to come home. Keep us safe and stay home.
I miss my daddy, and I can't wait to see him. So keep us safe and stay home!
Be healthy. Be informed with ITD.
On you. It's the KUAM News Takeover, Guam's favorite I-94 containing COVID, about to flick the big switch. You guys ready? I got my flicking finger ready. We'll jump over to KUAM TV 11 in just a few moments, 1 minute, okay? And then on the way, we've got a deep dive into the day's COVID-19 news with Sabrina Salas, Matt Tanani. We're also going to hear from the Guam National Guard. I'll find out what they're up to. Major Tom from the Salvation Army. Ground control to Major Tom. He's coming up here on the show. It is the 24th day of April. I'll be joined, of course, by Sabrina Salas, Matt Tanani, and all of you guys on our Facebook Live KUAM News stream as we get ready to flick the switch and jump over to KUAM TV 11 right here on KUAM FM Hagåtña, Guam. It is containing COVID. The KUAM News takeover of Guam's favorite 93.9 FM in Hagåtña. Good.
Keeping you informed, KUAM News brings you Banking 671, brought to you by the Bank of Guam, the People's Bank, and Coast 360 Federal Credit Union. Together, we thrive.
KUAM News COVID-19 Takeover on I-94 FM is presented locally by Ambrose Inc. healthy. Be informed with ITD.
Taking it back. R&R, remember that band? The Matt Sablon and other people who don't sing. That's 804. Human Nature, that's a classic cut from Live Local Fridays. We're KUAM FM and Gotney Guam. Good morning on you.
Happy.
There's so many ways to catch the show right here on the radio where it all began, 93.9 FM. Also, there's an audio stream, Docomo Channel 10. And we are streaming at KUAM.com and the KUAM News app. And, of course, on Facebook Live. To all of our Facebook Live viewers, good morning, sunshine. And also, KUAM TV 11, where we jump on to the TV for you guys and bring you the last half of the show at 8:04 like we do in this hour. And when we kick it off, we do a deep dive into the day's COVID-19 news from the KUAM News team. Sabrina Salas-Manzanati, good morning.
Hafa and good morning, everyone. According to the latest from the Joint Information Center released at 9:35 last night, Public Health tested 37 individuals for COVID on Thursday. 0 tested positive. 1 individual, however, was diagnosed as a probable case, formerly termed clinically diagnosed. While probable cases have tested negative, they have imaging findings consistent with COVID-19, display typical symptoms, and have epidemiological links to previously confirmed cases and thus being treated as COVID-19 cases. One additional case was diagnosed by U.S. Naval Hospital Guam and reported yesterday. To date, there are 139 confirmed cases of COVID-19 on Guam, with 5 deaths and 126 recoveries. Community testing begins via a pilot project in Estumbo Dededo on Saturday. The drive-through walk-in testing is for residents who live in Sagan Linadzan and Lower Estumbo. It is from 9 a.m. to 12 noon at the gym there. Testing is limited and is free for residents who meet the following criteria: individuals with COVID-19 symptoms, multi-generational families in a household that includes parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, adult children, their children with COVID-19 symptoms. Public health nurses will continue canvassing the area today to pre-screen residents and issue passes. A resident who meets the criteria for the pilot test will be issued an individual pass to enter the drive-through or walk-in line on Saturday for testing. Residents who show up on Saturday and who do not have a pass but exhibit COVID-19 symptoms or who are asymptomatic will be given an informational leaflet and have their information collected by public health nurses. They will be contacted by public health at a later time. In the meantime, if you are experiencing symptoms consistent with COVID-19, you're urged to call your healthcare provider. If you do not have one, you can call any of the community health centers or public health's medical triage hotline phone numbers: 480-7859, 480-6760, 480-7883, or 687-6170. Now, we talked about this on Containing COVID on Thursday, and Public Health says it is aware of inaccuracy of false negative results from the Abbott ID Now laboratory instrument that tests for the virus for COVID-19. Public Health's lab, however, has not conducted any of its specimens in the viral transport 3 ml dilution that would lead to a false negative. According to the Joint Information Center, the lab was updated on April 14th by the Abbott point of contact technical consultant trainer that there are some false negatives due to how the specimens may be stored through the VTM collection system. Dilution of swabs immersed in liquid may have caused false negatives. The lab ran its validation tests using a lesser dose of the VTM. The Abbott technical consultant trainer acknowledged that the lab's validations went very well, but that could be due in part to the fact that you're only using 1 ml of VTM for each swab, whereas many of our customers are using 3. Since April 14th, Public Health's lab has run 51 specimens with the Abbott ID Now, with the results of 50 negatives and 1 follow-up positive. For many, it sums up how they have been feeling, and you may have received it on WhatsApp or saw it on Facebook. Our Adriana Cotero asked the governor for her reaction.
There is a message being circulated, and I would like to get your response and reaction to it on behalf of the community. So I'm just going to read it out loud. It's a little long, but I'll read it to you. So it says, "Dear Governor, while I live on the same island as you, I feel a world away. You asked us to help you. We did. You asked us to close our business. We did. You asked us to stay home. We did. You asked us to continue to stay at home. We are. So here I am at home waiting. You told us, don't worry, unemployment will come. It hasn't. You told us, don't worry, grants are coming. They haven't. You told us, don't worry, forgivable loans are coming. They haven't. You told us, don't worry, stimulus money is coming. It hasn't. So here I am at home waiting. I wait alongside most of my fellow small business owners, those self-employed and independent contractors, a massive number of Guamanian residents who are waiting for the unemployment portal to open for us, waiting for loan approvals, waiting for stimulus checks. All of these programs we are at the back of the line for. So here we wait while bills come daily, savings continuously dwindling or have been exhausted, and still doing our part. It is time you do yours. It is an inconceivable expectation to close unessential business, halting all income, and expect us to survive. We need to pay our bills and put food on the table. Without immediate action, you are leaving us no options. How are we to survive? We deserve an answer. You owe us answers. Coming soon is no longer acceptable." So again, I ask you, what is your response and reaction to that, to the community?
So my reaction to that is that I am being responsible. First, the reason we closed non-essential businesses and non-essential government employees is to first and foremost protect the health of our people. First and foremost, to fight the virus. First and foremost, to make sure that our uncles will not be exposed and have to, and have to be maybe one of the fatalities. That's what I'm trying to prevent from happening. So yes, my responsibility is to that first and foremost. Additionally, yes, the economy is also our whole responsibility. And I also wanted to say that loans, the PPE loans, are here already. Businesses have been approved to the tune of 102 million, which is about 508 businesses. Accordingly, so the Congress has recognized that it's been maxed out. So they are going to be providing more funding. So then again, that opportunity for our small business people will be there. We have given the loans out for the economic, I think it's called the Economic Injured Disaster Loan, which is the one from SBA that's about a 2 million, up to 2 million. That also has been approved, and the loans have been given out to businesses. And I know this because businesses have gotten the loan. Additionally, I have not forgotten our people. Believe me, our people is the foremost of my mind, day in and day out, 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year. I am just as frustrated with the delays and with the lateness of the federal grant. And that is why I decided to use whatever I can within our local funds to advance the economic recovery program. So we actually have printed out 3,200 checks this last week and a half. There will be 3,200 more checks being printed out again for the next week and a half. Once those monies come in, we are prepared and ready to print checks for everybody. That's about the tune of $134 million. That one is going to be happening probably, like I said, first week of May or second week of May. The pandemic unemployment benefit programs, we have worked out all our processes from our end. We are just waiting for the federal government then to approve our application process, to approve our processes, and to approve the plan that we are putting in. I don't have control over the federal. What I do have control over is our local funds and our local programs. Our public assistance, like I said, has been increased 64% since the beginning of this crisis. We have put out about $100 million in public assistance. That includes the food opportunities, food accessibility. That includes cash assistance. I have increased the eligibility of our people to be able to get Medicaid by increasing the poverty level to 133%, which means more people now can be eligible for health care. Additionally, we have continued the senior centers, the senior member arm and uncle meals every day. We have added to that. And also the Department of Education's food nutrition, we have also added to that. And now they're giving our children, our very vulnerable, precious children, 2 meals a day. And so I really understand and empathize with this writer's concern. And that's why I am working as quickly and as aggressively as I can, given what I can afford locally here, given what I can do to pressure so we can expedite the approvals that's needed. We just got the guidance for the unemployment plan. We haven't even gotten the guidance, sorry. The other guidance is for the the coronavirus stimulus package. But I want to assure the public that, I am not sitting and not doing anything for our people. I'm working very hard with what our local programs are. I'm working very hard with whatever local monies I can. We have also are expediting our tax refunds out there. So, to say that, I'm not doing anything, I don't think it's a fair characterization of what this administration has been doing.
Thank you, Adriana.
Rice that Governor Lilian Gross asked the feds to enforce screening measures to slow the flow of islanders from the FAS from coming to Guam during the COVID crisis. According to RNZ, the governor sent a letter for Vice President Mike Pence on April 6th to provide guidance to the State Department, Homeland Security, and DOI to intervene on this matter of continuing travel from the FAS to Guam. She reportedly pointed out that the federal government, under the compacts, has the authority to institute screening measures to ensure that allowable migration is consistent with the compact. She added that she supported and encouraged this action. The article went on to further state that the governor said the two main reasons for FAS citizens migrating to Guam are education and jobs, both of which currently don't exist because of COVID-19. The governor also expressed concern that the FAS banned travel to their islands by citizens living outside, yet controlled to allow but yet continued to allow migration from their countries to the U.S. under the migration provisions of the compacts. Quote, "This is very concerning to Guam." The article also states that the governor insisted the territory didn't have the resources to quarantine FAS citizens who become stranded on Guam because they are not able to return to their country, nor can we quarantine those FAS citizens who are allowed to leave their country utilizing the provisions of the compact. There are no confirmed cases of COVID in Palau, the FSM, or the Marshall Islands. And joining us now with headlines from the CNMI, we have Tomas Manglotnya. Tomas.
Going forward, we have all voiced at one time or another our thoughts on needs
that he made yesterday at the start of the Fiscal Response Summit.
Going forward, we have all voiced at one time or another our thoughts on needs for reform, that government is too bloated, that we must reduce expenses, that we must increase revenue. Now, this is the time. Going forward, we have all voiced at one time or another our thoughts on needs for reform, that government is too bloated, that we must reduce expenses, that we must increase revenue. Now, this is the time. Put these thoughts into action. I believe we can do it, and I look forward to working towards coming together, both public and private, minority and majority, to put our community first and charting our path together forward. Charting our path forward together. Thank you. Insidus Mases and Giliso.
President and Chief Justice of the NMI Supreme Court also shared their goals for the summit. Velma Palacios, representing the Saipan Chamber of Commerce, addressed the over 190 Zoom video participants, saying that from the Chamber of Commerce, we can no longer exist in silos. We can no longer push the responsibilities on one person or one agency. She adds that the private sector participates in the conference as both business and nonprofit leaders. Velma Palacios explains that they are there to listen as the conference continues and help find solutions that will set the Commonwealth down a path towards long-term stability. Bree and Chris will have the full story tonight on prime time. They convene again today for day 2 of the Fiscal Response Summit with members of all branches of government, including leaders in the private sector and the community.
It's possible. Were you allowed to watch the summit or just portions of it?
Yeah, so the plenary sessions are open to the public. I believe none of the agenda today is going to be broadcasted as it was yesterday, is my understanding. And so we don't know if we know that they're discussing the brief about the 13-page brief that we reported on the other day. But we'll see if they release anything new after they convene in 2 different groups that they've split the leaders into.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tomas.
Thank you both. Have a good day.
You too. As for an update on the USS Theodore Roosevelt, as of today, 100% of the USS Theodore Roosevelt crew have been tested for COVID-19, with 840 total positive and 4,098 negative results. Of the total cases, 88 sailors have recovered and 4,234 have moved ashore. 4 sailors assigned to the Roosevelt are at Naval Hospital Guam being treated for COVID-19, and none of the sailors hospitalized for COVID are in the intensive care unit. In national news, with much of the economy at a standstill, more Americans are asking for unemployment assistance, and a new program is allowing even more people who are out of work to file. Naomi Ruchim reports.
The House is expected to pass a nearly $500 billion stimulus package today.
Coronavirus shutdowns first hit restaurant workers and others in the service industry. Now layoffs are rippling through the economy, with more white-collar workers and healthcare professionals losing jobs. 4.4 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week. That brings the total number of jobs lost in 5 weeks to approximately 26 million.
Now, economists are trying to project when this could really start to come down. The hope, and this is a hope, is that by the middle to end of May that these claims drop down to what would be sort of normal recessionary levels, and normal would be hundreds of thousands, certainly not millions.
Millions of those out of work are self-employed, including Heidi Julian. She owns a dog walking business, and with all her clients staying at home, she hasn't made money in a month.
The self-employed people haven't been able to collect unemployment before.
But now, self-employed gig workers and independent contractors can apply for benefits through their states under the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program.
I'm grateful that they have included us in this package. I wish that these had come a little sooner for myself and for others.
Salon owner Sharon Jackson Bailey hopes she qualifies as well.
If I can't pay rent, you know, I've been here 24 years. It would be sad for me to lose it just for that.
Bailey is in Massachusetts, which is taking applications. But with each state determining who is eligible for what money, it could be several weeks before many states are ready to distribute.
Extra $600 weekly payment the federal government is offering through the end of July. And finally, we have our Banking 671 report from Coast 360 and the Bank of Guam. In anticipation of residents receiving their stimulus checks, the Guam Bankers Association members are collaborating to assist the community in check cashing in order to adhere to social distancing measures. As such, check cashing is allowed for non-customers at the following institutions. They are the Bank of Guam, the Bank of Hawaii, Bank Pacific, as well as First Hawaiian Bank. As the banks work to support the island in this time of need, the Guam Bankers Association would like to make the community aware of the following. ATM deposit and mobile deposit are convenient and safe banking alternatives. Those with no banking relationships may be asked to line up in a designated non-customer check cashing line and will need to provide 2 valid IDs. And that is your Banking 671 report, brought to you by Bank of Guam and Coast 360.
All right, thank you. 824 KUAM News takeover of Guam's favorite for containing COVID. It's proudly brought to you by IT&E, Ambrose Inc., and Calvo Enterprises, as well as our Banking 671 sponsors.
Yeah, Bank of Guam and Coast 360.
All right, 824, we're going to get Dave Della Sola from the Department of Labor to give us an update and maybe clarify some of the things that the governor had said in one of the press conferences. That's coming up. Also, Catherine from the Guam Chamber of Commerce talking about the plan that they're going to give over to the governor about reopening the island in phases at 824. But I wanted to check in with Major Tom from the Salvation Army. Good morning, Major.
Good morning, Chris and Sabrina.
Good morning.
I guess if you could you want to just give us an update here on maybe some numbers. I know you shot me over some data, but what has it been like for you guys at the Salvation Army this week?
Well, for the last couple of weeks, we've been very consistent with our appointments, seeing about 20 plus a day for the appointments for people coming and receiving food. We were very consistent with that number. So right now we're seeing some numbers with right now since the week of April 13th to the 23rd, we've seen 159 families come through, and a portion, most of those are, about 139 of those are brand new to the Salvation Army. So that's just in the last couple of weeks that we've seen, and those new numbers represent people who are affected by COVID-19 in terms of loss of hours, loss of the job because of being furloughed or whatever it might be.
139?
Yeah.
Wow, that is pretty sad. And what are they what are they telling you what they're going through?
Well, I think the stories are very compelling in terms of people just really being to the system in terms of coming to an agency like the Salvation Army for food, because typically they would be working right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so learning this new, navigating through this new way of asking for food or help, or even the grab-and-go meals that DOE is doing, this is all very new to a lot of them.
Yeah.
And so what we try to do is just take the edge when we talk to them, is just welcome them as part of the extended family. And for some of them, we even extended prayer to them, Sabrina. We've actually prayed with them and tried to, let them know that, this is just a period of time in which they're here, but once things are reopened and they're back at work, they'll get back on their track. But we try to just do our best to comfort people as they're coming to us, and especially our new families that are coming to us that have never really been part of the social services. And so this is a new experience for them. So we try to be sympathetic to their new need, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Major Tom, I'm anticipating maybe even more of an increase, because I feel like a lot of us were thinking that the stimulus checks and that federal assistance was going to be here by now. And then, this is on the heels of the governor's announcement that it's going to be weeks away. Maybe first week of May, we get our plan to pay out implemented, and then checks coming a few weeks after that. So how do you think this is going to affect the landscape of the people who are already beyond rock bottom?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time whenever if the benefits aren't kicked in by the time, the island reopens or whatever. But even if the island reopens, it's going to be done in segments. So I think that a lot of people are still going to be feeling the effect of not having hours or not having employment. And so the need for social services and these meals that have been extended into the summer, even with GTOE helping out with the grab-and-go meals, is going to be extremely helpful for a lot of families. And I think as long as people know there are services out there they can reach out to, it'll give them some comfort, even though while they're waiting for their mailboxes to be filled with checks or whether a direct deposit, whatever that might be. And so we're just going to try our best to be there for them. And so far, since all this started, we've done over 1,589 people since the beginning of the COVID response in our food delivery. So if this shows anything, it should be by the end of April that we're serving well over 2,000 people of Guam with a food bag. And so we're glad that we're able to provide the service. And that people have been very generous for the ones that do have income coming in. And so we're grateful that we have the partners we do, because our food bank is only as good as those donations monetarily or canned food deliveries.
So where are you with your food bank in terms of supplies and being able to continue providing these services to people that desperately need it?
Yeah, well, I sent Chris some pictures yesterday of our warehouse. We're depleting it. We do have some pallets of things that have come in. Rice that have been broken down into family-sized bags, and then we've got canned food items, and even our farm-to-table folks have been donating eggplant to us, which is great because we're actually able to give fresh vegetables out with the canned stuff. So we're depleting a lot of that. So a lot of the wholesale vendors out there have been generous in donating those things, and we can always use that. We can always use more of those canned food items, from vegetables to fruit to meat to a variety of things that can make up a meal for a family. Pasta sauce, those kind of things. Mac and cheese for the kids, of course, right? You're going to have that, and peanut butter and that kind of thing. So anything that we can use to add to those food bags to help a family out. This is really where we're at. So if we are at the end of April and we're facing 2,000 we're really going to need to step up our donation efforts and also our canned food collection to keep our food bank stocked up to get through the next to the end of May, perhaps even.
How important are these? I mean, it's kind of a stupid question, but these donations, how important have they been? Because when I talked to you a couple weeks ago, you had told me something that really just resonated with so many middle-class working people that I talked to, in that you said that the middle-class working families on Guam are the ones who donate to Salvation Army. They're the ones that hold up the Salvation Army programs with the support that they give. And now you're seeing that these same people who, recognize the great need are now in need.
Yeah, that's true. And even in the States, when we served Salvation Army officers in the States, it's always been the case where middle-class workers or hardworking people are the ones that support the Salvation Army. And so we appreciate, their support over the years. And at this period of time where they're now on the receiving end of that, we just want to be consistent with our appointments and helping them out the best we can. Like I was saying, if we're seeing 131 people, or 100, if we're seeing 100 plus every 2 weeks, then half of those, the majority of those are new people, which would be the hard-working people that would be at our fundraisers this time of year, or stopping by a Red Kettle or whatever it might be to support the Salvation Army. And so we're grateful for their years of partnering with us. And now this is just a period of time where they're on the receiving end of that blessing that they've blessed us with so many years.
Major Tom, I had a question regarding has the government ever reached out to the Salvation Army, maybe to find out what the numbers are and how they've increased, or how they can perhaps partner with the Salvation Army or provide any sort of assistance?
Because we've got non-essential employees, or like what Sabrina said.
Right. Well, we've been blessed by GDOE giving us some commodities that they've been able to have in their warehouse that we've been able to utilize in small amounts. Obviously, they get the bigger portion, and it's understandably so with the amount of food that they are giving out. But they've been generous with us to give us canned food, a variety of canned food to make up, a uniform bag for families to come in and get. We've also been trying to work with our Homeland Security through the FEMA, going through that. We're right now working through that to see if that's a possibility for us to receive, whether that's a purchase order or a food donation of some kind that we could utilize from them. So we're trying to hit up all the avenues to the government that we can, as well as our local vendors that can donate. And so that's really been our avenues of food support so far.
Okay, but they've never said, hey, this might be a way that we can help you, or anybody from the governor's office contact Salvation Army?
Not at this point, no. No.
Well, you guys were recognized as a COVID hero, so you guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, we're glad that we're recognized. I'm actually really proud of our team, Sabrina. I think and I'm sure you guys are the same way. You've been putting in long hours, and our crew at the Salvation Army, at the Lighthouse, at the Family Service Center, and all the places, they've been putting in long hours and really, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to make sure their local residents are taken care of. And so really, to be called that a COVID hero by the governor really is for our team. It's reflecting.
What would you rather have, though, Major Tom? You get called a COVID hero, or you get some help? Maybe they give you guys some, staffers to help you distribute stuff, or?
Well, right now we'll take both. We'll take both. We appreciate the praise coming from our leaders, and but anytime we receive help from these guys in any way, is always, we're grateful for that support.
So let's get it out here, Major Tom, because I know they're listening. What kind of help would you want, and what kind of help do you need from the government of Guam?
Well, obviously, like I said, the food donations are big. If there are people who are wanting to volunteer, we got to schedule them in because we obviously, with social distancing, can't have a whole lot of people in the building. And so once they call in or email us through our Facebook page, we can very much kind of get them in to help either fill food bags or help distribute them as people come for their appointments and those kind of things. So really, it's a limited amount of volunteers we can have in the building so that we can keep everybody in good distance with each other. So there are opportunities to give back. And we just got to schedule them in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go through our Salvation Army Guam Facebook page and message us to see what availability there are for volunteer opportunities. If the government of Guam wants to help out, send people over, that kind of thing.
What about we spoke with Ray Tapasnia from Gura yesterday, and he was talking about how they're looking to get caterers for this homeless temporary shelter down at Paseo. Was Salvation Army contacted to assist?
We've been brought into some of those conversations, but we haven't been able to really put anything in concrete because a lot of that is prepared meals that they need for those folks. And so while we're doing food bags,
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have the capability of producing mass hot meals at this point. But I mean, I think if we'll support the best we can our homeless individuals, seeking shelter if that opens up.
Okay.
All right, Major Tom, anything last you want to add here as we head into the weekend? You guys do services on the weekends?
I just want to say, as I always have to throw in a spiritual twist here. Is just that 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7 says, "Cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you." So I know there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of things going on in our island right now, but even in uncertainty with government or whatever it might be, we can always seek out God and cast our anxieties on Him, on our Lord, and let Him lead us through this time. And we'll come out of this better and stronger because we put our faith in the right person.
I think you're right. If there's anybody in this universe who can handle all the anxiety, the stress, the fear, the uncertainty that we all have here on this island of Guam, it would definitely be the man upstairs, Major Tom.
Absolutely. Just keep praying and keep pushing forward, and God knows. So, yeah.
Thank you, Major Tom, and thank you for all that you do. You are COVID heroes to us, too. So appreciate it.
Thank you. God bless you guys. Have a good one.
You
God
too.
bless you. God bless Guam, and wash your hands.
Be safe.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Major Tom. Okay. 8:38. Major Tom from the Salvation Army. A very sobering reality check there, Sabrina.
I know. What did he say? Over 139 new families.
Right. And so we're seeing it as the governor has continually told people to apply for the local assistance programs like federally funded SNAP benefits, and there's also a cash assistance program that Public Health has. She's saying that the numbers are increasing. We're seeing a 60-some% increase in those who are applying for these benefits. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people don't. You see some of these comments here. And I want to go back and read some of these comments here that were put on our Facebook stream when we played the video of the governor from yesterday's press conference. And so we'll just get some of these off here. Maybe she should be furloughed too. She's sitting too comfortably. People are getting full of eating itchy bang. Ed writes in, "Good job, Governor. Your priorities are awesome. Safety of the people first. So thank you for all that you do." Michael and Vanessa write in, "Chris and Sabrina, can we just clarify that public assistance isn't automatic for those furloughed? The governor makes it sound like it's automatically given."
No, you have to apply for it,
yeah,
and you have to have all the required documents.
Nothing is easy. I'm telling you, you got to have the required. But we got to be fair and say that the Public Health and Linda, they realize that you're not supposed to be going all around, so they've done things where they've kind of partnered with the Mayor's Council to get those verifications that you need for this application process. They've also partnered with DOL.
And they've got like 20 people manning the phones, and they're trying to get through as many applications as possible. And I think it was Josh, the Lieutenant Governor, Tenorio, who was on our show on Monday, who said that they had approved, I think, over 1,200 new applications from the past several weeks.
Right. Maria commented in here, "The red tape and lack of planning at the federal level for better processing to move much needed funding and medical supplies are the problem, not the governor. Interesting take there. We have another one here from Rose. Maybe the governor should borrow a big loan and give people tax returns, then get her refund from the federal money. Ron writes in, no one said you're not doing anything, Governor. They're saying you're not doing enough. I believe I have COVID. I couldn't be tested because I didn't meet the criteria. Are they going to test me? Then we have here, what happens if Guam doesn't open yet and there's no more stimulus money? What's the next step? So there you go. That's what people are saying. There's a million comments. We've been playing this clip all morning, so if you want to just go up and read them out, that's that. It's 8:40. Let's get Dave Della Sola from the Department of Labor on to the show. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning. Sorry I'm a little late. I just ended a call.
Good. So, yeah. So
was that with the U.S. DOL?
No, actually with the software vendor.
Okay, so
I think the next one will be either we have to schedule one with US DOL, a private one that's coming up in the next day or 2 or 3. But yeah, the software is coming along great. Only holds up, and I hate to keep saying this, is US DOL providing us an application so that they can make sure that the application that is approved is mirrored into online software, and then once that's done, then we can start getting it installed, and we have to start the training process for the crew of people that we are trying to get on board too. But it will be able to be, you can apply with a phone, a tablet, a computer. It adjusts to any type of device that you have, and it will not. It's cloud-based, so it will not get clogged up. They are running it with hundreds of thousands of applicants in the states, and they're running it without any problems or log jams. So he said our 100,000 or so is nothing compared to what it's already been tested. So. We just went through the banking module today, and how I'm making a call out, please, if you have a bank, get that banking information. That'll be quicker and easier to get your payments, because once we give the vendor the banking information, then the electronic transfer is going to happen fairly immediately. And if not, then the machine will crank out a check, and that check will be stamped and be mailed. So, it will be a day or 2 or 3 depending on the mail service. So get that banking information and, hopefully apply online. That is the fastest way that you will be approved and be paid, is applying online. And if you don't have that capability, don't worry. We will take an a manual application, but then that application will have to be uploaded online so that the full accountability and integrity is maintained.
Dave, I had a question here on the Facebook.
Sure.
If Guam businesses reopen before the unemployment assistance program is implemented, it also means employees will return to work. That mentioned, does that mean employees returning to their jobs can no longer be eligible to apply for the pandemic unemployment assistance, or can they remain or continue to apply and report the weeks they were laid off or cut in hours and remain eligible for that program?
They can apply, and they are eligible for the time that they were either laid off or reduced hours. Right. That is below 345. So, and they will be retroed.
Right, Dave.
So please get back to work and get back to normal, and the money will come. It's just like I said, we're just waiting for these elements. And I was just on the conference call 2 days ago with the region. There are a lot of states. We're not as behind as I thought. There's a lot of states that are behind. They're, like I told you, again, they had a call out to what vendors, software vendors, because a lot of states can't handle this PUA. They're just not designed for this complicated program, and to add it in. So they're already calling out, and I'm recommending my vendor that we have, and there was another state that recommended the same vendor. So it kind of makes you feel a little better that, they're not any farther ahead than we are.
Dave, I know that you were real careful about giving a timeline for the implementation of this program from when we get checks out, but I believe the governor in one of the press conferences this week had put out something that we were looking at, weeks. So, go ahead.
There are phases, and that's what that's kind of the timelines that I gave her. So, the approve application and getting that vetted, getting that installed, because once they give me the standard app, I need to customize it for Guam to make sure that it fits. And then that getting vetted and approved by both sides, USDOL and our side, and get that printed and get that out is what I'm hoping to meet that timeline, and we can shoot that out to everybody. So whether you apply online, manual, call-in, or walk-in, we're going to have various ways of applying that you would have that in your hands beforehand, and that you can actually see the information that you need and get help filling it out. We'll try to provide assistance just on how to fill out the application before we even actually accept it, so that you can make sure that you have a clean application. And that's what we're trying to target. But again, those elements are not in my hands to say that, but I'm just trying to give you an estimate. I push them every day for the application, and that's the first thing that I am pleading with USDOL to give me, is that approve application. So I'm hoping to get that out soon, and get it in my hands, and I can start working on it. It's very frustrating.
So
we're waiting for the feds for a change instead of us waiting to put something together. I got all the elements already standard. We just need I don't have the agreement yet on the FPOC. There's a lot of things. So
what can we do, Dave? Can we do anything? I mean, can we call the congressman, maybe stop playing with your cat, maybe get to work here?
Yes, we've already done that. We've reached out between the White House, the secretary. They are, and I don't mean to justify them. They are trying to do this for not only for us, but for the states and for everybody. Right. They're creating agreements, putting together a guideline books. They have the lawyers are writing up the FPUC agreement, and they're just standing. Everything is. It's been just over a month. No, not even a month. The 27th of March is when they signed and created this program, and it's a totally new program, and it was being, done for nationwide in all the territories, and the territories are slightly different than the states, so they're standing this whole thing up, and this is a $1 trillion program. I mean, and it's going to be $900 million just for Guam, or roughly, give or take, depending on what they approve. But the one thing I did say is that there won't be running out of money. It's a as needed appropriation. So if we stand up and we get whatever we get, if it's not enough, then they will put more, and we will get more until everybody gets what is needed. And that was what I was told.
Okay. So, yeah, Dave, I think people feel your frustration. And, I know you've been really careful about giving a timeline. So we just wanted to get you on and get that status. So people just keep getting all your docs together. And
businesses continue to
now
apply.
If you do have a minute,
or register.
I can go on one other question that I'm getting a lot, and those are the businesses. Some businesses, once this program kicks and they're getting 945, that their employees don't want to come back, or they may not want to come back. I will just have to say this: in order to qualify for my program, you have to be unemployed because of the COVID, and it has to be because like your business is closed or something like that. If your employer calls you back and you don't want to go back, then you automatically become unqualified from that period on. And if you're getting any other assistance like the PPP program, if your employer gets that money and is paying you now, for your wages, then you don't qualify for my program. You can't be double dipping. You can't be getting other federal assistance and qualify for my program.
But can you be getting like SNAP benefits, Dave? Yeah, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
that's separate. That's different. And, we encourage everybody, once you get laid off, you automatically qualify for those types of programs and mine. And, I do want to say that, once this 39 weeks of the assistance runs out, then the assistance stops and you're unemployed, and then you have to go out and, you're going to be with a large amount of people that don't have work. So don't be short-sighted. Take the work when it comes up, and then you have work continuing on and the benefits that are, around the work. Don't wait and try to get my program and then you runs out, and then you're in the same boat with, hundreds of people that are unemployed and trying to find work as the island is recovering.
How do you track that, though?
How do I? Well, every week with my program, you have to give a verification that you're not working. And that employer module that was what we're going to go over tomorrow with the software vendor to put the final touches on it. We have at 8:00 tomorrow. That will be the way that employers will log in their employee information of when they were furloughed or laid off or changes or reduced hours, and when they're ready to go back to work and they're ready to stand up their business, then they go in and enter that they're calling all these employees back in, and that's the date when they become not qualified for my program and they're supposed to go back to work. So that's why I need that dual verification. I can't stress enough, and the USDOL, the one thing that they're stressing is the high integrity of the system for fraud. There is a lot of room that people can just try to get away with getting these money and take advantage, and when they shouldn't be. And I can't stress enough, if there will be auditing, they will be checking, and those who are supposed to get it and are honest, no problems. It's like filing your taxes. All those people that do it honestly, you have no problem. Those that are trying to beat the system or get money and are creating fraud on the way they're getting the documents, you could become not only eligible and have to pay back and be prosecuted from my side, but you could also lose all your food stamps, housing, whatever else that you get as federal. And these are feds that are going to come in.
Mm-hmm.
We are also going to be checking the integrity, but the feds will also come in and pull samples and look at cases.
Because they got the Inspector General has a big budget for this.
Oh yeah, they got $26 million just to look at the integrity of this system. And we are all trying to be creative and laxed at getting these people the money. And I'm going to try to be laxed as much as possible in order to help those people, especially those self-employed people. And I just got to make sure that you be honest and the repercussions, because you have to certify what you're saying on this application is true and correct.
Okay.
Well, we've got to let you go. We're running out of time. I did have one other question. This vendor that you keep referring to, is this a local vendor, off-island vendor for
Everything
software?
is local. Everything is local. Except for the software. That's a huge company that does our Higher Guam system. Is the same vendor that does that, so that all these modules will all talk to each other. So when you are off of the assistance and you need a job, it'll move seamlessly all the information to our Higher Guam, and we can start helping you get retrained, re-educated, or look for a new job in the present occupation.
Okay. Thanks, Dave.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate
Thank
it.
you, guys.
Appreciate the
Take care.
update. God bless you and
All right.
Godspeed.
Thank you.
And wash your
Be
hands.
safe.
Be safe.
I will.
Okay. 8:55, Guam's favorite. Let's keep it with the phones here. And we kind of talked about this plan that was circulating. I don't know how it ended up on WhatsApp, but we have from the Guam Chamber, Catherine Castro. Good morning, Catherine.
Hi, good morning. Happy Friday.
So I guess we just start at the beginning. That plan that you guys are going to present to the governor is what I heard. It ended up going all around on WhatsApp.
Really?
Yeah. It almost went around as much as that. Dear governor, you told us this, you told us that.
Oh my goodness.
It was a crazy WhatsApp day. Yeah. So we people started sending it to me in the afternoon yesterday, and we were able to confirm that it was from the chamber in some way, shape, or form. So I guess just take us to the beginning. And we'll read the message. You want to read the message?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
Okay.
Moving as fast as I can over here.
Sorry.
It's cool. You guys are working real hard.
There's a lot of WhatsApps to go through,
Yeah.
Catherine.
Sure.
If you could just tell us, though, I guess, how did this come about? Have you guys been meeting or had a meeting and laid out this plan?
Sure. You know, this is something that we've all thought about from the very beginning, right? So we were alerted in late January, right? We started to see cancellations come in mid-February, early February. We were discussing how this was going to impact our economy. We wrote a letter, if you recall, to the governor asking for a moratorium on implementing the minimum wage. So we kind of saw that, this was going to happen. We were going to be impacted in a big way, and we wanted to help our businesses, kind of cope with that, right? We didn't want to see employees get laid off. We wanted to have everybody keep their jobs as much as possible. And then, when the obvious shutdown happened, as soon as we were shut down on March 20th, our minds shifted gear. Okay, so we're shut down, and initially it was going to be shut down for 14 days or so. How are we? Let's look at how we're going to get back. How are we going to reopen Guam? So this has been an ongoing discussion for a number of weeks, and that when we understood that the governor was looking at putting together a group, our plan was already almost set, and we sent it to the governor's group for consideration.
Mm-hmm. When was this sent to the governor?
Goodness, when did we sent it to her group? When did we send this? I'm looking at my email. Sorry.
Like a week ago?
No,
because she made the announcement. I think it was last week Friday that she had this economic.
So we sent it like Monday or Tuesday or something like that. When just really recently, just this.
Okay.
Sent it. Yeah.
Did you ever get a response?
No, because I don't know if they. I think they've met once, and they're supposed to meet again today, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and our chair, Christine Boleto, is part of that group.
Right. So have you heard anything about what the Economic Recovery Advisory Panel, what they plan to propose?
Well,
or what their plan is?
I know that they also have a plan, but I haven't seen it. So we're hoping that that our plan could also be looked at and taken into consideration. I think that it was a pretty good and thoughtful plan.
Can we read it out, Bree?
Certainly.
Yeah, so we got this little the message that was going around.
All right. Going into the next week, the Chamber's plan calls for other service and retail businesses to open using social distancing and sanitation protocols. Appointments would be needed for barbers, salons, gyms, realtors, and shopping centers. Additionally, malls and shopping centers would have to limit the number of people, a concept that retailers such as Home Depot and Payless supermarkets have adopted. The week of May 4th is when the first big phase would start, assuming the rate of infections remains low. Currently, it's about 13% to 14% according to the governor. Phase 1. Allow all private sector businesses and government offices to open while abiding by social distancing and sanitation protocols. Bars and restaurants remain closed for sit-down service. Phase 2. The week of May 25th. Allow for all parks, restaurants, and other places for gathering to open while adhering to sanitation and social distancing protocols. Phase 3. The week of June 22nd. All public places and private businesses would resume normal operations with the same sanitation protocols and limited social distancing. All bars and restaurants would be allowed to open, and larger gathering, which adhere to CDC guidelines, would be permitted. The government should also prepare to start body temperature scanning, pre-boarding health surveys, and footpath sterilization pads for incoming arrivals at the airport.
So I'm not sure who wrote that notice, but they pulled from our matrix. So we actually sent this to our members. There's a summary, and then there's an outline, and then there is a proposed matrix which outlines the phases that you talked about.
Right.
And so obviously everything first and foremost, we would safety is important, and that we would follow whatever the CDC and the public health guidelines are.
Right.
And so this is this was for discussion. This is something that we put out there. We feel very, very strongly that we're ready. The business community is ready. We want to have our people employed. We want to bolster people's spirits, and it's important in our community. We live in an enclosed island. We need to, bring people's spirits up, and if that means that, we're going to be able to open up shops and go to Kmart, and what is essential for me may not be essential for somebody else.
I need Zori.
Exactly.
I need Zori. My Zori broke 2 weeks ago. Sorry.
And you know what? If I'm a young mother and I need Play-Doh for my kids and coloring books and crayons, then my goodness, I better have that access to that.
That was kind of a weird one, though. I don't know. I think if that was was it the governor's legal counsel's call to, make this determination about what? I mean, it's just kind of. So I could go into the grocery store and I cannot buy stuff that's, deemed non-essential by some lawyer, but I could go and buy things that are probably not as essential, and it's in the same store. It's weird.
Yeah. So, we respect, the authority, and we respectfully submitted the plan, and we're ready. I feel like our businesses, they know what to do. I mean, we've seen that it works. We've seen it at Payless. We've seen it at all of these other places, right?
Yeah. But Catherine, how do you kind of hedge the public health and the safety of the public? Because I don't think that we've seen anywhere kind of reopen. I mean, they're talking about reopening in the States. It's become a partisan issue. But I mean, we have these models of what's working right now during this lockdown, but we don't have any other model out there to compare to. You know what I mean? We're still kind of having that conversation nationally. So, and I understand this is a discussion plan, and it's all contingent on the testing, right? So, I guess what has been your reaction? I mean, Christine is going to run this up the flagpole down there at Adelup, but let's just be honest. The Chamber of Commerce does not have the best, if any, relationship with this administration.
We have a responsibility to the business community and to our employees. And this is important. This is important for our people. This is important for our economy. This is important for the government of Guam. If we don't, have money circulating in our economy, how is the government, even essential services, going to be able to provide services in the next coming months?
Mm-hmm.
The federal.
Oh, goodness. I mean, thank God for the federal government. But what are we doing now as a community? So, we're ready. And, we're hoping that the governor and the task force group sees this. We understand the health implications. We have been abiding by the executive orders, and this is it. This is our proposal, and we will continue to press and see where we're going to go.
How do you think this proposal is going to be different from the one that the governor's economic recovery group is going to present to the recovery advisory panel?
Our proposal is based on, recommendations from the White House, recommendations from the U.S. Chamber. I don't think that there will be a lot of differences. I think where the differences will fall will be in the phases and what determines those phases, what dates those are, right? And so we were working off of May 4th because that was the date that the last, based on the last executive order. I was hearing chatter on our chamber board chat that may change again, which was a little disheartening. I'm not sure if you've heard, but we will continue to.
Yeah, I put in a request with Adelup. We heard that the governor made some kind of announcement about an extension, but we're just waiting for the official confirmation on that. So.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if that's accurate, then that's just going to throw all you guys' plans, way back. And
well, we're hoping that there are certain things that will be relaxed. We've asked for the roadblocks to be lifted.
The checkpoints.
Yes, we've asked for the retail establishments to be less restrictive and to be able to purchase products that are needed.
The barbershops. That's how
we've asked for there's certain things based on what the guidelines and the criteria has been, and I believe we've met them as a community, and I think that the community's done a fantastic job of adhering to these guidelines.
Right.
I had a couple questions. I wanted to ask about Mary Rhodes with the GHRA several weeks ago. She was on our show and she mentioned this task force with the Guam Visitors Bureau. Does the Chamber of Commerce have any representation on that task force, and have they been able to provide any input on whatever it is that they're working on?
You know what? I am no, but as far as I know, we don't have representation on their task force. But the visitors industry has representation on the chamber, and that's those folks. We've had a good distribution of people in various industries that participated in our proposal.
What is it, Catherine? What did you guys do to the governor that she just doesn't want to give you guys the time of day? Let's just all be honest, that there's something there that's preventing this relationship from moving forward. And it's weird because, she comes from a business background. So you would think that there would be some kind of, meeting in the middle. So what is it?
Sure. You know what? I honestly don't know.
Come on, Catherine.
I honestly don't know. I think that we have been very cordial and very polite and very respectful. That's the nature of the Guam Chamber of Commerce. But when we feel that the business community needs support in various issues, then we're going to speak out about it, because this is not, businesses and they want to make money and all that. This is about our community. This is about bringing up the quality of life for everybody on Guam, so that we can do what we want to do. We can take the kids to McDonald's and a movie. We want to be able to have all of our people have whatever opportunity it is that they want, so that they can have the quality of life that they aspire to. And if there are legislation that prevents that, then yes, we're going to definitely speak up about it.
Well, I was surprised when we heard last week Friday that Christine was actually nominated or appointed to this economic recovery panel advisory group. Were you surprised?
Well, I was happy that she was invited. I would have been surprised if we were not invited.
Yeah.
I think that we have made every effort to be as upfront about where the chamber is, and we have made, I mean, every gesture with the legislature, with the administration, that we're here to help, that we would love to be able to come to the table and work together. This is our home. Collectively, we should work together.
I hear you, and I'm kind of wondering if she was surprised, but be that as
I think she was.
But be that as it may, she's on this panel, and she's on this advisory group. So I guess I'm not sure how many times they've met because we don't get any kind of information like that. But
yeah, so they met that one time. I guess it was last Friday, and they're meeting again today.
Are we talking about the recovery panel of advisors, or are we talking about the economic recovery thingamabob?
Okay.
Is there more than one?
There's two, right? There's two groups, right?
Okay. Yes, there's a group of advisors, and they meet. They have met a couple of times already, and I think they met yesterday. And then this economic recovery group is a smaller group, and it's made up of I guess health professionals, government of Guam, the private sector. So it's a smaller, tighter group, to my understanding.
So which group is Christine on? The small,
She's
tighter
on
group? She's on both groups.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so, what kind of feedback has she been giving you in the chamber about whatever they're talking about?
Has she been getting in trouble, Catherine? Because I'm thinking, no, and I'm only saying this because the obvious things that the chamber is saying is, you know, the BPT, can we pause the BPT or whatever you guys want to do with the BPT, and that just triggers the governor. When she hears BPT, it's like, oh, look out.
Yes, we.
So I'm just curious, how does Christine, you know, move forward with these conversations that need to be had? But you know, I mean, she's basically the only one in there who's not getting a paycheck from the governor. I mean, you know, kind of.
Yeah, well, we've been asked to stand down on the BPT, but we have.
Who asked you to stand down on the BPT, Catherine?
Has any of the ideas, I mean, that Christine has presented on behalf of the chamber in these past couple of weeks, and whatever big group, small group, have
They've been taken under advisement? They've been taken under advisement.
Has she given you an idea, though, what they're looking at, what their plan is?
It's all still in discussion. They're all still discussing.
So what have they been discussing? I mean, what are some of their, I guess,
it's a lot of things that what we've been talking about. We've been talking about, you know, the roadblocks, and then they said, well, Christine, you know, you want to lift the roadblocks, then give us, you know, give us statistics. So we reached out to the members and said, hey, you know, help us out. What's going on? You know, what are some of that feedback, right? So we got feedback from the folks that are essential businesses that are having to go through these roadblocks, and how is it affecting their business, right? You know, so we've been receiving that, so we put that forth. So, you know, those types of things, like we push something out, they'll say, well, what's the feedback? What's the, what's the statistical information? So, so that, you know, like I said, we are we're putting it out there. We've said that, you know, can we please have the Paylesses and the Kmarts, you know, sell everything.
Right.
Right?
Totally agree. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that you walk in a store and they got this roped off, they got that roped off. The store's open. The store's open. The store should be open.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, there's SOPs already in place. You know, businesses, you know, because they're closed, that doesn't mean that they're not working. These guys are hustling. These guys are putting together brand new SOPs so that they can open their stores and have people feel safe. There is a community-wide fear, right? So even though, for example, you know, a Ganya shopping center or GPO or the mall opens, there's not going to be a stampede. People are going to be afraid, right? So how do you eliminate that fear? There's going to be protocols, sanitation protocols that will need to be adhered to, and of course, if they don't adhere to it, then okay, shut down, right? Because this is a matter of the health of our community. We understand that, but as much as we understand that, things and there are needs of the people that need to be met. You know, we need to buy jewelry. Dang it, then let us buy jewelry.
But I want the nice Zori. I don't want the mom and pop store Zori. I'm going to spend on Zori. That's one of those things I will spend on Zori.
Exactly.
Well, Catherine, I guess, gosh, I don't know what to say because I feel like your plan's just going to get rejected.
Well, we've been rejected several times, but that doesn't keep us down. We need to continue to push our agenda because it's good for Guam, and we feel very strongly about it. We feel that a lot of the community is in agreement, and I know that I think that we'll see something happen, and I feel very positive. I'm the positive person in the group. So we'll see where it goes.
That's it. Stay positive, but not COVID positive.
I'm a prayerful person, and that has been, thank God for that, and we'll get through this, and we'll, and I, like I've said in our groups meetings, that we're gonna Guam, in the next 2 to 3 years is gonna be different, but it's gonna be better.
Okay.
I guess we'll probably call you maybe
Catherine,
later on
could we be calling
if
you?
we get this plan.
I don't want to call Christine too much because she's in that group, and I just I don't want her to get in trouble because I feel like
Sure.
we already got her in trouble last month.
But
No
as far
problem.
as you nobody in the chamber got a copy of this plan that's supposedly going to be rolled out today. No. Or you haven't.
I haven't seen it. So.
I mean, why would you? You're just the president.
Does Christine have a copy?
Perhaps she does. I'm not sure. We haven't talked this morning.
Right.
But we'll see. I mean, we're very proud of the proposal that we put out. It's for discussion, and I think that it's a good working document, and we'll see. We'll see where
it's definitely generating discussion this morning, Catherine.
I'm so interested. I don't know who started that WhatsApp chat, but I'm kind of tickled.
Yeah, well, just don't put anything on WhatsApp if you don't want it to go around.
Alrighty.
Okay. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Be
guys.
safe.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
You guys.
And let us know. Keep me posted.
Alrighty.
And wash your hands too, okay?
You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah, there you go. That's Catherine from the Guam Chamber. And to be fair, we read off their plan, but all that plan, it's all contingent on what the test results say. So.
And this is just a summary.
Yeah, and it's a summary, and we can come up with plans to plan ahead because Lana, when they got no plan, you guys get mad, and when they plan, you get mad. So, they're doing their part, and maybe that's their idea. And I just got to go back to who would know about reopening the businesses and all that stuff from a business perspective. Probably the businesses, maybe.
Well, it's interesting because I'm not trying to compare or anything, but in the CNMI,
well, here you go with the CNMI.
They're having this fiscal summit, and it's through Zoom. They said over 100 people were participating, I think, according to SMOS.
Right.
And it's people in the business community.
And the
They've
people
got
in the chamber.
senators or legislators over there that are participating.
You know what it is?
It's this open dialogue.
Yeah, I just think the governor can't handle the criticism.
And there's nobody from the legislature that's appointed to this economic recovery
I think
group
the speaker,
panel of advisors
she
/
said something
one
about
group 1, group
Senator
2. I didn't even know there were 2 groups.
I told you there were 2 groups.
Well, that's not what was announced.
Yeah, it wasn't really announced. But a lot of things aren't really announced nowadays. It's 9:19. We're going to take a little break. It's the KUAM News takeover of Guam's favorite containing COVID. Good morning on you, Betness.
These days. Keeping you informed, KUAM News brings you Banking 671, brought to you by the Bank of Guam, the People's Bank, and Coast 360 Federal Credit Union. Together, we thrive.
KUAM News COVID-19 Takeover on I-94 FM is presented locally by Ambrose Inc. Be healthy. Be informed with ITD.
Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Hafaday Guam, Adriana Cotero here, and I am currently reporting from home. And I encourage every single person in this community to stay home. COVID-19 cannot survive if we do not feed it, and that means staying home and washing our hands. Now, I know I've heard people my age in their mid-20s say, it's okay, we're young, we're healthy, we have strong immune systems, we could fight it. That's not true, and we also don't know who we could potentially be exposing. The only way that we can fight it is if we stay home. It is our duty to stop the spread and to stay home. Be safe, Guam.
Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's, offers fully covered loading and unloading area with individual pin-coded gate and door access. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Specialist Joshua Manson here. I can't wait for him to come home. Keep us safe and stay home. I miss my daddy, and I can't wait to see him. So keep us safe and stay home!
They want me, and I'm gonna be there. That city's calling, and I'm gonna be there, yeah. In Paris they want me, and I'm gonna be there, spreading the vibe.
Hey, good morning on you. Guam's favorite, 925. Another great cut from Live Local Fridays. Hey, we're doing a Stay Home Live Local Fridays tonight, right, Bree?
Yes, we are.
Right on.
We've got the Dolls.
Right.
Oh gosh, I watched that performance. It was
pretty cool.
Really good.
That's super cool. Yeah.
Jason J. He's on. Is it Astrologic?
It's going to be an awesome show, basically. Hey, so we're trying to find out about this. You know, people are saying there was an announcement about an extension of the order. Unfortunately, we haven't got a response yet from Adelup. So we're going to just try and call the 311 for you guys.
Right. So there, we heard that the governor was on another radio station. She's announcing that about it being extended.
If you have medical questions regarding COVID-19, press 1. If you have questions regarding public welfare benefits, press 2. If you would like to report a business in violation of the Social Isolation Directive, press 3. If you would like to report individual violations of the Social Isolation Directive, press 4. If you are a business owner with questions on economic relief, press 5. For employment guidance, press 6. For the counseling hotline, press 7. For general inquiries, press 8. To replay these options...
Hoffaday, thank you for calling the Joint Information Center.
Hi, this is Chris and Sabrina from KUAM. Who's speaking?
Hi, this is Nick.
Oh, hey, Nick. How's it? So we're just trying to get to the bottom of this announcement we heard was made by the governor about an extension of the mandatory social isolation order beyond May 5th. Do you have any info on that?
We've been receiving calls asking about the announcement on, I think it was K57, where the governor was talking about using her authority to extend beyond May 5th to May 24th. So, this is a rapidly evolving situation. So, a lot of the information and a lot of the guidance can change with little to no notice.
Right. And little to no notice to the public, or little to no notice to you guys who are supposed to be informing the public?
This is the Joint Information Center?
Yeah, is this the Joint?
I just want to make sure.
The Joint, not Information Center.
This is the Joint Information Center.
Okay.
Okay, could you please inform us, has this order been extended to May 24th?
Outside of hearing about the announcement, we are awaiting guidance from the front office, and once we have complete details, we'll go ahead and push that out to the public.
Right, but I mean, if the governor announces something on a media, isn't that kind of a done deal, or what? I mean, they don't tell you guys things, Nick?
I was not able to listen to the entire announcement, so I'm still trying to gather some facts for the people that are calling, and we are going to be communicating with the front office shortly.
Oh, that's interesting that you would communicate with them after the fact when they make an announcement. It should be they communicate with you. I mean...
Well, thank you.
So what, is it a yes or a no, Nick? Are we extending to May 24th, or you don't know?
The only thing I can confirm is that she's made an announcement that she's going to use her authority to extend until May 24th, but I haven't listened to the entire announcement. I can give you a call back when I have more information.
Right.
Okay.
Is it a struggle for you guys sometimes when we get this information out that doesn't go through the proper channels, and then you guys got to deal with it? And I'm thinking back to when the governor had made an announcement about putting letters on your vehicle to go to the store. We got a ton of calls that weekend. No confirmation on that ever came down. But does this kind of thing happen with you guys? Is it a little frustrating for the Joint Information Center to kind of be left holding the bag?
I think in general, when you're dealing with crisis communication and emergency management, it's going to be challenging all the way around, and that includes policy decision making
on the fly. Policy decision making on the fly.
Well, I mean, the information does change rapidly, especially when we're dealing with something that is unprecedented.
Well, major announcements like this shouldn't be piecemealed.
Yeah, and they shouldn't just be made to friendly media. This should be put out to all the public, because now you're not only stuck holding the bag, Mr.
So
Nick.
are we.
So are we. People are calling. I'm trying to get Carlo Branch, but, apparently if...
I've already messaged Crystal Paco, Janela Carrera, and the Lieutenant Governor, so we'll wait and see.
I mean,
if
this is kind of, we see this a lot where the governor goes out and says stuff that is either not correct, and then, we all got to clarify and go play cleanup, or they announce things, in a medium where it's not readily available to the public, and then we're all left scrambling, and you guys are left scrambling, and you're the Joint Information Center.
It is a challenge to get the, proper proper and accurate information out, and we are working to get.
So what are people saying, Nick? Because they keep calling, they keep commenting, they want to know. I mean, we're 9 days out from May 5th. What are the calls you guys are getting?
The calls, the callers that I've spoken to this morning have made inquiry on the announcement, and so what they want to know is this an official announcement or if this is true? And like I'm explaining to you, the only thing I can ascertain is that she did make an announcement, but I'm in no position to speak on behalf of the governor.
Is there a supervisor?
Can we talk to your manager?
The Joint Information Center is traditionally headed by the communications team with the governor.
So they're not really doing a good job of communicating this morning. I'll tell you that right now.
I will make a request that they.
We've already made several requests, Nick.
To your inquiries. I understand, Chris.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Nick. I don't think this is going to go anywhere. So
is it?
Maybe, no. I mean, he doesn't even know. The Joint Information Center doesn't know. We have to go to the people in charge.
It's tragic because the public is being told to call this number for information, and you guys don't even have the information because you're not getting it from the people you're supposed to be getting it from. And then we're calling you, and we're chewing your ass out because you don't know, because people are calling us because, we don't know.
We're not trying to chew your ass out. We're just trying to get the information.
I'm sorry. It is what it is, Nick.
Thanks,
Nick. You guys should be armed with the information that you need. It's ridiculous.
Not a problem. But since I do have you on the line, if you could indulge me about my EPA duties.
Okay.
Okay,
so,
go ahead.
There are two unregistered, unapproved surface disinfectants that have found their way into the island's market.
Okay.
So I'd like to take this opportunity to remind the public that if you run into something called virus shutout, please contact the Joint Information Center or send an email to covid19@epa.guam.gov. So unregistered and unapproved products like this, they have not gone through the proper regulatory review. There's no scientific review. There's no legal. There's no administrative review. So the claims that the product is making may not do what it's describing, and it may be unsafe for you to use. So once again, you can call the Joint Information Center and report a retailer that is distributing this product, or you can email us at covid19@epa.guam.gov.
Okay. Did you say there were two?
The other one is, I believe it's Island Strong. It comes in a spray bottle, but the one that has made national headlines is something known as virus shutout.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll call 311 for that, but if you want to know about this extension, don't call.
You guys don't get the big info, in other words.
But thank you.
Thank you, Bree. Happy belated happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, Chris.
Okay.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. Sorry if I got you in trouble in advance.
Yeah, we're all
just
this
blame
together.
it on us.
We're all
just,
there you go.
We're
all in this
us.
together.
We're all in this together.
Thank you.
All right, take care,
Okay,
guys.
bye. All right, so we don't know. Don't call 311 if you have that particular question. Maybe, I don't know. You want to just call one of the
I'm just
people over there.
Tired of this. I'm just tired of it. And I've reached out to the governor so many times to call the show, and I mean, it is what it is. So we're trying
have
to
the
find
answer
out.
for sure.
We're gonna get that damn
it's a
answer
yes
one
or
way or
no.
another.
Yeah.
But 9:34. Hey, let's keep it on the phones, shall we?
Hey, yeah.
We're gonna go to
Who are we calling?
Major Joe Blas from the Guam National Guard here. Major, good morning, Major.
Hi, Major.
Good morning, Liz. Good morning, Sabrina. Belated happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Major, we just wanted to bring you on because, just for an update on everything that the Guam National Guard is doing, and I know you guys are doing a lot. Do you want to just kind of go through that, Major?
Sure. We have our soldiers and airmen that are out on our education traffic stops on the 4 different locations. We have airmen from our 254th Red Horse Squadron that are doing projects throughout the island. We have our joint task force that are running all the operations. Task force response, they're the ones who oversee all the perimeter security and the traffic stops. And then our support unit is our engineers. We have a task force medical unit that assists with I guess, doing medical checks of not only our soldiers and airmen on a daily basis, but also they assist GRMC and GMH with that as well. And then we have our Task Force Seaburn, which has been assisting with our decon training throughout the island.
So what are you guys not doing?
Well, if they're, if
I'm just
we're
kidding,
waiting
Joe.
on a lot of missions, actually. We're waiting on the mission for the repairs at the Paseo Stadium for the homeless shelter.
Yeah.
So as soon as they give us a thumbs up, we'll be there making other repairs and setting up the tents.
Do you know how long it's going to take to stand that up with the work that you guys got to do?
Well, actually, Sabrina, we did the assessments like a few weeks ago. We provided all the courses of action, and we put in the request for supplies. So that's all here. So we're just, as soon as they give us a thumbs up, it should take a couple days.
Okay.
So I think the governor's intent was to have it up by next week. I think that's a reasonable time frame.
Mm-hmm. You said you guys were helping. I want to say, because I've been on the DVID's website, there's a lot of things that the military is doing with the site in Finnegodson, and then the tent hospital over at Agania Heights. Are you guys involved with any of that, or just everything else?
There's actually Task Force 18, which is headed incidentally by Brigadier General Tracy Smith. She's actually from Guam. But she's a medical officer, and she's heading that unit. And so they're working with the CBs and the 554, the active duty Red Horse, to set up those locations. We've seen a lot of the bed down equipment, but like the governor says, if we don't really get into a state where we're going to need a lot more hospital beds, that mission, we probably won't need it. But it's good to know that we have the capability.
Yeah. So do you know if this May 5th has been extended, since you guys are part of the whole logistics and stuff?
Well, actually, no. We're actually, our mission is in support of the governor and everything he's doing, and we don't know any more information than you do, unfortunately.
Okay.
And I'm watching you on TV, and I'm actually in the Guam Air National Guard. Just saying, we have.
Is it wrong? Sorry. Yeah, it's Guam Air National Guard, Joe. Sorry. My bad, Major. I'm sorry.
Actually, I work for the Guam National Guard.
I know, but the thing is, the Army, they just see what you do, and they love you so much, and they just wanted to claim you a little bit.
I love the Army, too. I don't do foxholes or anything, and they do. But, no, actually, we go out there, and we make a great joint, partnership out there. So everything we're doing jointly, and you can't, it's seamless. So we work together, and we teach each other lots of things, and just better capability for the island.
Right. What about testing, Major? Are you guys getting tested, or so the governor said something about that?
Well, actually, the more information will come out about that when the governor provides her address, but I can't confirm. We do have a machine, and we are getting supplies and equipment, and hopefully. Wow, that was quick. You made the change real quick on TV.
Anything for you, Major. You're my favorite.
But, like I said, if we get all the equipment and supplies and we get the request from the governor, we're here to support.
Real quickly, you said you guys have your own machine?
We do. We have a biofire machine. Our 94th Civil Support Team, they have that capability.
Wow.
So we've ordered the supplies and the testing kit, so we're just waiting for that to come in.
Okay, so you would be using your own machine because, like the governor said, we're moving into this next phase of expanded testing, and the TAG is going to be testing all of the National Guard members, Guam Fire, GPD, but not yet.
We'll be assisting wherever we're requested, but we do have our own machine, and we have worked with the U.S. Navy, Public Health, so whatever comes down, if we're requested, we'll be there to assist.
Okay.
Right on, Major.
So how you doing?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Good. It's been busy, but at least I get out of the house. If I can make a plug, April is Autism Month.
Right.
So my son has been at home, and poor kid, he gets cabin fever. So every once in a while, I got to take him out for a run.
Right.
Oh, that's good. All right.
Yeah.
But it's all good. We're all here to support, and hopefully soon we'll be able to open up the island and get back to as much normalcy as possible.
Right. Baby steps, Major.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, and maybe we could reschedule it. Maybe have another Move Autism Month. When we get back to normal, move it out so it gets the proper shine that it deserves, along with Easter. I'm going to ask the Lieutenant Governor, okay?
Absolutely. Well, we are, on behalf of the autism community, we are going to still have our run. I have 2,000 shirts sitting at my house, so we're still going to have that run.
Just let us know when it's going to be, okay? And we'll get the word out for you.
Absolutely. Appreciate the support.
Of course, Major Joe. Anytime. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you also for those hero messages.
Right. Those are awesome.
Thank you very much for that. They, the soldiers and airmen, the family members, they love it. So thank you for that support.
Yeah, send some more if you get them, okay?
Every day.
Okay.
Every day she does.
And me and Sabrina might stroll by the Readiness Center and you maybe test us and use your machine. So we gotta.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, thank you, Major Joe.
Bye.
Wash your
Be
hands.
safe.
Thank you.
Okay. 9:41. That's Major Joe Blas from the Guam Air National Guard.
She's with the Guam National Guard, but
right? Yeah.
She's in the Guam Air National Guard.
I just want to go back and kind of again reiterate what's going to happen with the community testing at Estumbo. Bree.
Okay, so the community testing at the Estumbo gym, it is from 9 a.m. to 12 in the afternoon. It is a pilot project. It's a drive-through walk-in testing for residents who live in Sagan-Linadzen and Lower Estumbo. It is limited and it is free for residents who meet the following criteria: individuals with COVID-19 symptoms, multi-generational families in a household also with COVID-19 symptoms. Public health nurses and other public health staff are canvassing the area today. They did that yesterday. They're pre-screening residents, and what they're doing is they're issuing passes. A resident who meets the criteria that I mentioned for the pilot test will be issued an individual pass to enter the drive-through or walk-in line tomorrow for testing. Residents who show up on Saturday and don't have a pass but exhibit COVID-19 symptoms or who are asymptomatic will be given an informational leaflet and have their information collected by public health nurses. They will then be contacted by public health at a later time. But again, the pilot project for this community testing is scheduled for tomorrow at the Estumbo gym, and you have to have basically a pass, which they are canvassing, giving out today once they are pre-screened. And again, 9 a.m. to 12 noon.
All right, that's that. 9:43. We're just really trying to jam as much as we can into this show, and I want to go over to the village without a mayor, Jotnya, where there was a break-in yesterday at the Guma Zoamti, which is right there by the church, and we have Zita to talk about it. Good morning, Zita.
When is Chris and Sabrina?
Good morning.
So that was just
terrible. What
broke
happened?
my heart seeing that. Yeah. Can you just take us back to the beginning? When you found out that the Guma was just ransacked, broken into, and all that.
Actually, it was broken. I mean, I discovered it on Sunday, and we're still trying to we're reeling from the shock of what was done. And so I went there to drop off a filing cabinet and just opened it and shut it down again because it was just too traumatic to see. It was ransacked and torched in many places, including the massage tables and chairs. I mean, it was just pretty sad. It was shocking.
Yeah, I just can't believe somebody would do this, especially like with torching the place. And what did they steal anything, or they just went in there just to wreak havoc?
That was the other part that was really, I finally, the next day, I had called the healers that night, and we discussed it, and came back on Monday and called the police and the fire department, and the healers who service Susan Uggan and Betty Malachi, who service Jotnya, came because they're the ones that operate, and, they would know what was stolen. the saddest part about it is, you know, when people don't have funds, right? They give gifts, or out of the miracles that happen, they're gifted with really special gifts. And so Susan was given this hope chest that's an antique. It dates back to the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was also, like, they knew that she was, she wanted what she wanted to do was sew, and someone gifted her with a brand new sewing machine and a TV set. You know, she's very simple. So these healers, you know, like, people are just so ecstatic when they're served well and they get healed, and they give these healers, and also, you know, like food, right? So they bring canned goods and frozen foods and stuff, and even a rice cooker. I think they gifted them with a really nice rice cooker.
Right. Yeah, and
you know,
Zita, I mean, they get a lot of gifts because I know a lot of them the healers don't want to accept money for what they do. So, you know, when I've gone to the Serrano, that, you know, give fish, give, you know, avocado, give mango. And so it sounds like these gifts, let's go back to that camphor chest. So was that stolen? Was it damaged? What happened to these gifts that these healers get?
It was all gone.
They stole it.
Yeah. All gone.
Who would do something like this, Zita?
I think it's our people who are broken and don't have a understanding of who they are, and the people that don't have that self-respect and the beliefs in our traditions and our values. And this is why we've been in existence since 15, 16 years ago. And this is all the work we're doing. Is it's not just the physical healing, it's the healing of the mind and the hearts. And this is what our healers have been talking about, that when we are disconnected to who we are and to our land and our sustainable ways of living, this is what occurs. And you know, we're dealing with COVID, right? And I sit with Mama Chai. She's 84, right? And she runs the Gumas Zoamti in Tumani. And I said, Mama Chai, Afasti. And she, you know, like, our healers know that there's a history behind this. She said when they smell this thing from the land, they knew something was going to happen. So she had something was going to happen.
A premonition.
Kind of the premonition that that something was going, whether a typhoon or whatever. And so she said she knew the earth needed healing, and that, you know, iman amku masangan na kumu estagua. There was a term and I couldn't remember, but I can't remember it right now. But she, you know, it's like, it's wonderful to listen to what our manamkos are saying, and our healers especially, and how to heal. And so, but we don't. And for these years that we've been trying to revitalize our healing tradition, to heal not just physical, but spiritual and mentally and physically, emotionally, our traumas. You know, and so it's okay. We know that this is part of life, and we understood that this was part of the pain and the traumas, and people are so disconnected, and this is our mission.
How do people help, Azita? How can people help? They're seeing these images, you know, not exactly a Good Friday vibe. So people want to help. How do they help you guys?
Well, we want to rebuild, definitely, and we also have another healer. Sorry. We want to rebuild, and all this was done out of love. We have very little money, but we built 3 centers with the assistance of 2 mayors and Gomagzoamti. So we have 3 centers, and definitely this makes it more clear that Jonia needs help. And you know, I want to give you some statistics about our Gumazoam to Chris, if that's okay.
That's fine. Please do.
Okay, in 2016, when we first opened in May, we had 1,322 clients. In 2017, we almost doubled that at 2,394. In 2018, we tripled it at 5,880. Last year, we had 6,116 throughout our 3 centers. It's growing. Many people have been coming. Many people are being served. And I'm sure that the people that came and did this did not get the services of a healer and didn't understand fully the significance of that place. And so, how do they help? It's we definitely want to we need to gut it out. We need to reconstruct. And you know, one of the things is like, even just to get our massage table, that cost us so much, you know. But we need all the assistance, so they can donate anything, you know, funds, or because of this executive order, we are very careful as to how many people can go there and gut it out and take out what we can and try and reconstruct it before we open. When the governor lets us open, and so more than ever, I think we need to get it back on track so that people can come for more healing.
I know you guys are healers, but man, my grandma's curse was really strong. Are we going to do any, cursing on these people? Their hands going to be crooked, or you know what I mean? They're going to...
Chris, never. That's not the kind of healers we have. And Mama Chai was like, Mama Chai is like Port Lu.
Yeah.
Do you want for Port Lu?
Does any of the healers, though, have any sense of who they believe may have done something like this?
And also, to back up that question, what have you heard from the authorities?
Yes. So I guess chat's going like wildfire, right? Like, but the other day, the night before, right in the area, another house was broken into, or they were trying to, so they got the guy on camera. So I'm not sure. I hope that there's some kind of connection. But yeah, we're just, I think we don't know where that's going to go, but what we need to focus on, and this is our healers who say, okay, this is why we're here. This is exactly the reason why we're here, is we need to heal that, because otherwise it's just going to get worse. And no, we don't curse. We're not that kind. And please make sure we're not that kind.
I know.
It's love and peace that built this, and we gotta focus on the grace of God, and the grace of God is teaching us to truly overcome, and love conquers all.
So did the police...
No curse, Chris.
Right,
no.
I got you, Zita. I was only kidding, kind of. But did the police get back to you guys or anything?
I can't pick up the police report because...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So let's just let that go. But, the only thing is, I feel so bad. I'm not the healer, but the healers who gave of their hearts and then received, and all of it's gone. That's pretty bad. And then, and then to top it off, she's having problems. So yes, we do take money, because the gas that it takes for our healers to travel from Jigo and Dededo to Agate and Jotnia, yes, we do take cash, because when they it's just, but we don't have a schedule of fees. Definitely.
If people have any information or who may have seen something, who should they call? Should they call you guys?
No, I think they should call the police.
Just call the police?
Call the police.
Okay.
They can let us know, and then, but right now, I don't think, I think they should just call the police. Yeah.
Well, Zita, I want to thank you. I know this is very tough, but I really wanted to get you on because I know how, just terrible, and wanted to share it out there so that, maybe in seeing this type of thing happening, the village and the villages around the island can maybe be a little more vigilant tonight and look out for things, because we just know the reality. The police department is stretched thin. They're doing what they can with, the little that they have. So again, the neighborhood watches, and just everybody just kind of like keep an eye out,
Yeah, but also, let's start lend a helping hand wherever we can. Like, if we have little goods to pass out, that kindness.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. It's the kindness to show love to everyone, so that it can change people's hearts, and heal that way. So if anything, it's not just to be vigilant about that, but to open our hearts to give and to help each other in this time, and that perhaps that love and that kindness will go a long way.
Thank you, Zita.
Si Dios más, sí.
Take care. Yeah. God bless you.
Adios.
Okay, wash your hands.
Oh, está.
9:56. Well, we usually try and end the show on a good note, but when I get that, I'm just angry about that, Bree.
Which one?
It's about everything. It's just been the 9 o'clock hour. So did you get anything from anybody?
No, I just got word from the lieutenant governor that they haven't signed an executive order doing that.
Okay.
So, but again, there's a press conference that it's
11:30.
We'll be streaming it live on Facebook. It'll be broadcast right here on I-94 FM. It'll also be on KUAM TV8, and I believe maybe TV 11. I'm not sure, but definitely it'll be on our Facebook page. And I tell you, those comments that you see, don't hold back. Let us know how you feel and what you're experiencing, whether it's on this show or on the during the press conference. We do look at them, and we'll try to get questions that you pose on there and ask it during the press conference. But please keep in mind, we're extremely limited to the questions that we ask.
Right.
All the reporters only have 2 questions, and
ridiculous.
They mute you. So if there's like some clarification that you need, and you might be on your second question, we're not going to be able to do that. And
really can't just say. To me, it's almost disingenuous. You ask a question, they give you an answer, then on the second, but people are really tuning in. They're very focused on this, and it's interesting when the media asks a question and then these government people respond with an answer. You'll see if the answer is not satisfactory, it'll just go off in the comments. They didn't answer it. So as a media, when you ask that question and you get some kind of answer that's not an answer, then you would usually in real life, in the real world, say, can you clarify that? Because you didn't really answer the question. But that's not happening because you're on mute. So that's that. And I mean, it is what it is. We're trying to deal with it. So, like Bree said, get the comments on there. And we were talking earlier about the late start to these press conferences and what people put in the comments when they're sitting there waiting. What was it, like 38 minutes late yesterday?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Every day it's just so late, and I just feel like, people are watching you. They're waiting for you, They're just have a little courtesy, respect, consideration. Yeah. Okay.
I want to just go over Astumbo tomorrow, just so people know what's happening. The pilot project for the community testing, it is at the Astumbo gym from 9 to 12 in the afternoon. The sample size they're looking to get tested is 100 people. And this is only for people that live near the Astumbo gym. We're talking about the Sagan-Lenadzin area and the lower Astumbo area. And it's for residents that meet the following criteria. We're talking about the COVID-19 symptoms, fever, I think loss of taste,
sense of smell.
Right. If you're coughing, you need to get tested.
Or you have pre-existing conditions.
Right.
Diabetes, cardiopulmonary disease.
And so the reason why it's Sagan-Lenadzin and the Astumbo area is because their public health is trying to reach these most vulnerable populations and people that don't normally have access to health care. So this is just for these particular residents. For those of you who are feeling COVID-19 symptoms, you're asked to contact your medical provider, or if you don't have one, to call the Northern Regional Public Community Health Center and in Arahan and Barragata. But again, if you are going to the Estumbo gym for the community pilot testing, you have to have a pass. And public health, their nurses are out there canvassing today, and they did so yesterday, to pre-screen residents, and that's when they give you the pass. Then when you go to the gym tomorrow, you have to present that pass, and that's how you get tested.
Yeah, sorry about that. They had told us that, it was pretty much they want to cast a wide net and test everybody, but then the info came out this morning that it's a little more stringent than they led us to believe. So that's the process there.
Yeah. So they're looking to do just a sample size of 100, and we don't know where the next one's going to be. We're just going to deal with this one for now, and we don't want to put out any more information because we'll probably have to change it. So that's what we know for Estumbo tomorrow.
Right. Okay. So, Bree, good job today.
Good job to you.
Anybody you want to shout out or thank?
I do. I want to shout out a happy birthday to Jason Solis
girlfriend.
Again. Yeah. And also I wanted to thank everybody that wished me a happy birthday on Facebook and radio and other social media. I know everybody's at home and trying to deal with this crisis, so I really appreciate COVID? You. Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to shoot me a message, whether it's on social media or WhatsApp or whatever.
Hey, you're loved, Bree. 10:01. So the press conference, 11:30. We'll see you guys there. I want to leave you with this one. Hopefully pick you up. It's one of my fave local tracks. Sabrina Solis Mantonati, good job today.
Good job.
For Bree, for Joe Sir, for Ken Sanity, our digital broadcast team, for Kengineer, putting us up on KUAM TV 11. But most importantly, to you, the people of Guam. Thank you. We got the power to kill the curve. Leaving you with Zach Lujan and In It Fresi, Guahusi Chris, and Josh.
Bye.
Be healthy. Be informed with ITD.